Battery 70%. Connected to Underplay. Connected to Galaxy A6.
Oh. The water, and then we'll back again. So, no race today. Today is all about recovery. Today is about recovery and unlocking your badge, just random. Let's put on some music. We were looking what our options were. First, we wanted to do the UC Worlds 2019 batch, but that might be a little bit short. We have about an hour, so I decided to do the what is it called? 8 room or something? Yeah, it's in the title. So today is all about getting move on, but still have no peak at all. I'm just at the computer guide me, so I selected the route, so I hopefully it will guide me all the way through. And at around 27.8 kilometers, I should receive the badge, and then we get that one out of the way. I was looking to do a race today, but we went pretty hard yesterday, and we peaked to a new record, so I didn't want to race again. And we have a really short hey Matthias, we have a really short starting time today. We only have 1 hour, and the only race that was starting was Watopia flat race, but there were a lot of people registered, and it was an ABCD start, so we knew it was gonna be a really tough one. And I really didn't feel like it after yesterday's achievement, where we managed to hit the new FTP and crazy wattage, right? We got watts per kilo upgrade on Swift Power, so I'm really happy with that result. So today we're gonna be relaxing a bit, get that route badge in, the 8 room something, 20.7.8, something like that, kilometers. I was about 500 altitude included as well, so all for free. Did you see Matthias? Philippe Gilbert was starting in a race like 15 minutes ago. If I would have been an A rider, I would have just joined it for fun. But if I would have joined that race, I just see them right away for 10 seconds and then yeah, I was enjoying that. A lot of pro riders these days just doing their own thing, which is fun. What's that? Time trial, but team time trial. Ah, team time trial. What team are you riding with? It's the WTRL I'm gonna do. It's the most famous one, I guess. Nice, man. How did you find your team to do that? Is it somebody invited you, or you know some players? I know some streamers do it, but every time I see somebody do it, they really go very high pace. It's mostly Bart and Zico who do that from the VZT team. Some peeps. Looks kind of fun though, but it's always a pretty long race and very exciting, very tiring. I'm not really sure how it works yet because you have to register on the website or something, and then they give you a starting time because you only have 5 categories, right? So how do they program people starting different times? By mistake. You just forgot to write. We had a crazy result yesterday, man. We did the Classics Bologna race, which is only 8 kilometers, right? Yeah, it happens. So yesterday we did the Bologna race. And we had over 130 people in the C class, so we knew it was going to be a very fast start with so many people. We caught on the first group, which was actually going quite fast, but yeah, we managed to stick on. They were riding around my FTP, around 280, 290, just to stick in the wheels. And then we started the climb. The goal was to stick around 300 watts for the entire climb. And yeah, I did it. I even did a little bit more than that. So we averaged 311 watts for the entire ride, which was amazing. It was an amazing thing to get on top, to not break down. It was hard though. I'm glad there were some people who were cheering me on, because at some points you feel like you want to give up, but yeah, you're getting closer and closer, and we managed to get there. I wanted to do a sub 20 minutes ride, and we did it in 18 minutes, which is amazing. Really happy with my results there. 3.6 watts a kilo average. That's 0.3 more than my latest best. So I was a little bit stuck at 3.3 in those crit races, and then to jump from that all the way to 3.6. Yeah, we always do it. If you're not right a day, you feel bad. You don't feel like you did your best. That's a little bit what this day is about. I didn't feel like really racing after the yesterday's effort, but I didn't want to do nothing neither. So did some googling work, saw which routes I still had to do. I still have to do a lot. I only have like 55 badges out of 100 or something, or 120. So a lot of routes to be written for me. But this is one of them. The room 8 or something. It's about 30 kilometers. And yeah, there's some altitude meters, about 500. So we can climb a bit. We have about 1 hour to do this. So should be doable, I guess. 27.7 average. Even in a climbing ride should be possible. And now we got this one complete, hopefully. We can pick this off, get some extra experience. We're close to level 27. It's going fast last couple of days. Feels like I was stuck on level 24 for such a long time. And then now I'm already in the end of 26. And 500 extra altitude meters towards our tram bike ride. We should be there pretty soon. I think there might be a chance that I have to calculate how much meters we have near the end, but maybe we'll do like the last 3,000 meters in like one ride for the extra motivation during the ride, you know? Like try the Uber pretzel or something. 5 hours on the bike. But with completing that, also completing the concept ride would be awesome. That's a good there you go. Yeah, there's quite some climbing, and that's why I didn't think of it, I guess. Because I was still on the mouse time wheels from yesterday, Bologna. So yeah, that might be a thing because my vacation time is starting next week. So I will be having some more free time to schedule around and do the races and the things I want to do on Zwift. And the Uber pretzel might be one of them. Who knows? I have to see how the average challenge is going. So we're 37,800. Still 12,000 meters out. I don't think we'll get there in a month. 12,000 meters. That's too bad. Would be nice to finish this with like a big one, right? Just do that, man. Easy. I hate doing it once up Alpe Zwift, let alone do it 19 times. No, thank you. The most I've done in Zwift in one day is I think 1400 altitude meters. Yes, the the pretzel I did, right? 2 weeks ago. That's the biggest one. And then yeah, rode to the sky a few times. So I might do it if I do like a few Alp climbs, but not via vesting. I'm not ready for that one. For me, I really need to prepare for that and build up some distance and time on the bike. Longest we've been on the bike was the pretzel, 2 hours and a half. But that's still a long way off, right? So I'm not really ready for 10 hours plus on the bike, for sure. So I think the Uber pretzel is one of the biggest achievements that maybe I'm mad enough to do in the near future. So we can finish the batch, get the achievement, and get the altitude meters in one ride. But I still remember how suffering the pretzel was, so knowing the Uber pretzel is almost the same, but then with the Alp climb. That's crazy. So yeah, but if I will do that and I will add even the concept bike as a grand prize on the end of it, might be mad enough to do it. But that means I'll need 9,000 meters before half of May. And we're now half of April, so I mean we need 9,000 altitude meters in 1 month exactly to be able to finish with the Uber pretzel. That's a lot of climbing, right? 30 days. Let's say you ride 20 days from those 30. So we need 10 days is 4,500. So we need 450 meters every riding day. If you do 20 days, that's doable, right? If I do like up to the west twice a week, just for fun. I have to focus more on climbing than on racing then, or I have to focus on doing races with a lot of climbing in them, which I'm not that good at. But yeah, maybe if you focus a little bit. We might be able to do the overpressel at the end of our vacation time, and then finish with the concept bike in May, which means we get the concept bike 1 year after we started with Zwift. Because I started in Zwift in April, and my first payment was, I think, the 1st of May. I've done 3 or 4 weeks. I used free trial mode just to be sure I wanted to do it. Those first rides were, I still remember the first 10k I did on Zwift. I was feeling awesome. Man, I did just 10 kilometers in Zwift. Now 10 kilometers is just the warm-up phase for a race. Still remember, man. It's only 1 year ago. Crazy how things have evolved. And then just after I started, they announced the Tour de Zwift. It was like amazing. I have to complete the stages. I was giving my everything. And back then my first FTP was 195 on Zwift. So I actually was in the high D class once I started, but I knew I had some work ahead. I gave everything, every race, and my average was like 2.6, 2.7. You can still see the results on Zwift Power. And I knew I was dying after those rides. Good times. Good times. Then I tried some group rides in C class. Whoa. Okay, but you were pretty good outside already then. That's a pretty big number for your first FTP test, right? I was just doing the occasional once every 2 weeks or something. I did a ride outside. That was a little bit longer, like plus 50k. And then for the rest, it's only my bike to work. So I was riding, but I wasn't really pushing it a lot. I only started with while doing Zwift. Yeah, that's good training too, right? Doesn't have to be all out every time, but a lot. But I saw myself improving quite fast in the start. I think from the 195 the first time, in a couple of weeks I went up to like 240, 250, but I stayed there for a long time at that pace, that wattage. And I had to work on my condition because most of the time I would have the energy in the legs, but my lungs wouldn't work with me, so I wasn't able to maintain the high wattage for a longer period of time because of the condition. And I feel that improved a lot. Like yesterday on the Bologna, 20 minutes of hard pushing, and I was in control of my breathing the whole time, which for me is a really nice achievement. to be able to be in control whilst outputting your best results. That's for me is a signal I'm in a good shape at this point, riding wise. Yesterday the hardest part was mentally. My legs were strong, my breathing was under control. I was breathing heavy, but it was under control. But at some point, yeah, it starts to hurt in the head, right? You know it's not far, but you want to relax a little bit. But we managed to push through, and we averaged 3.6 watts a kilo, which is awesome. Still feeling really happy about that. I know it's a one-time thing at this point, but yeah, really happy. And we know what we can do now in those 20 minutes. So we take that knowledge along on more races, on more flat races. And we know we can hit it a little bit more heavier if you need it, and still be able to recuperate. I remember when I just started in the D-class races, at some point I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do some workouts and join some group rides just to have the edge of the racing. You don't need to really close gaps there, just maintain a good speed. And then I joined the C-class races, the SAS rides. I do remember them, and those were about an hour and mostly like around half. I had to let go of the group because they were going too fast for me. It was a point that I really wanted to be like, okay, I'm almost able to keep track with them. I'll try again next week and again next week until I can complete the entire ride. Did more races, and I think a couple of weeks later I was doing those group rides, not with ease, but finishing them without struggle. So I knew then I became a C rider. So I started to do C races as well. A lot of those races this was before the crit races, right? So a lot of these races always started together, A, B, C, and D. So we really had explosive starts where you give everything you have the first 5 minutes, and then hope you are in a group that's a little bit like-minded with you. So not really the strongest training you can have to give everything the first 5 minutes and then hopefully be able to recuperate a bit, which I wasn't able to. I just ran in the red the entire time. I had rides with an average of 200 beats per minute. But I did a little bit of longer rides back then, and I wasn't really busy with winning at that point. Winning for me was completing a race and gave everything I had with the group I was in. And then they started with the crit races, with the separate classes, and that's when I really wanted to start achieving a little bit. Really wanted to stick with the front the entire race, be part of the sprint. It's an amazing feeling to work hard the entire ride, to stick with the front, and then be able to take part in the sprint, even get a good position. We've won a couple of times, we failed a couple of times. I'm recovering well, man. That's why I'm doing this. We're doing the atrium lap. It's about 30 kilometers, just under. About 500 altitude meters. Yeah, there wasn't a real race starting that I wanted to do. I only had like half an hour gap. Only one race was starting and I didn't want to do it. So I decided to pick a route that's something I would never do normally. I wouldn't be able to complete just in warm-up. And complete it. Legs feel pretty strong though. Yesterday was a good short effort, but I think I recuperated. But isn't this the best recovery? Is like a TT ride or something, right? Not go very hard, but spin those legs, get the soreness out of it. It's the best way, yeah. So there's no epic climbs today like yesterday. I'm still happy about it, man. Drift power removed me from results and that feels like a victory for me. Guys, challenge each other to go faster and meanwhile train for a team time trial probably. That's a good idea. We're almost halfway our loop here. I mostly suck at the TT ride. I don't think I'm a good TT rider, but the zip challenge last year, that was the one time I really felt like I was doing a really good job. I did the 55 kilometers in TT rides. Back then my goal was to keep it above 200 watts, which was quite heavy for me. It was a high green zone, low yellow at that point. And I completed it. I was totally dead. 55k in the Fuego flats. I think I did it in 1 hour and 24 minutes or something. Yeah, not something, exactly that. I was really proud of myself. But that's the only TT ride I can feel proud about. On the Flanders finals in February, we had 3 races one day. One was the Bologna, but one was a time trial on the Sand and Sequoias route. So first through the Fuego Flats and then the hilly part of Titan's Grove. And it was my worst race ever, man. I really dropped watts. I think I averaged like 230, 240 watts, which is way lower than I supposed to. I was hoping to hold like 280 through the entire route. Wasn't even close. I finished second to last, 11th out of 12 there and lost like 3 minutes on the first. 3 whole minutes, which is crazy, right? I made up some time on the Bologna trial where I overachieved back then. A little bit like yesterday, but yesterday was better, of course. And then the first race was a Crit City race where we had 15 laps of the Crit City, but they added the fun part that you were doing the dolphin route, right? So with the short climb, and every time you pass the comp banner of the climb, there was a sprint where you can get 10, yes, was it 10? Yeah, 10 seconds for the first, 6 seconds for the second, and 3 seconds for the third. So there was a sprint every half round and every full round. So 2 sprints every 2 kilometers for 15 laps, man. That's crazy. So you were sprinting for that comp banner, 800-900 watts. Then if you missed out, you did that for nothing. But if you weren't going for it, you had to sprint as well, because otherwise there was always like 4 or 5 people at least sprinting for it every time. But if you didn't follow close enough, then those group was gone and we were only 12 riders. So if you split up, you're gone. So first couple of rounds, a few guys fell off the track because they didn't sprint hard enough. But the pace was high. It was a C-class race, and there were 2 guys doing like 4.2, 4.3 average for the first half of the race, which was crazy. I think I won 1 sprint and I lost everything else. And then I had to let them go the first 5, I think 3 or 4 laps before the end. And I just rode my own pace. Only lost half a minute or something on them, but still. And the guys who were gone, they got like 1.5 minutes on bonus time, and the time they gained by being first. So first race they already had 2.5 minutes or something on the rest of the field, which is a lot in 3 short races. Then the time trial was bad for me as well, so I was down pretty hard. But then we nailed the Bologna team trial, the Bologna trial, and we gained like 3 minutes on some people, so we weren't last. Yeah, but to be honest, yesterday's my disqualification, it felt like a victory, man. It really does. I don't really mind that they pulled me out of the results. Yesterday was a big achievement for me. First time I averaged above 300 watts, which was my summer goal. Okay, it's on the Bologna trial, so we have to be a little bit cautious with the results. Yeah. But hopefully I can take this knowledge now, knowing I can hold this kind of wattage for a longer period and then use it in a race. So if I have to close a gap or have to hang on, I can know I can hold this power for quite some time already, and that might help give a good level boost and try to achieve the same thing in races, right? Like in a crit race is always high high averages as well. So I was around 280 watts for average. So we're not far from the 300. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks we might repeat a little bit of the same prestige, and we might boost up to level B, right? Category B. And then try to hang on with our dear lives in the B class. Yeah, but that's understandable. If you do longer endurance rides, you probably have to choose, right? Because you have to recover from them, and then that result in maybe worse results or even injury for your races. At this point, I'm really addicted to the races, but especially the separate class races, where A, B, C, and D start separately. I think it's more motivational to hang on, even if there's some sandbags, a lot of them, doesn't matter, but it's a separate class, and it's a little bit more doable, and you feel like you're achieving something. It's, in my eyes, at this point, it's easier to push if I know they're equal to my level than to hang on with a bunch of A riders knowing they can hold it that power for ages. And if you have like group starts, like last week we did one, the C was starting all the way in the back, the A's and the B's were starting in the front. So what we had to do is we had to sprint 800-900 watts just to get on with the A's and the B's. And then the A's and the B's, I have to hold on for like 300-400 watts just to get in that group. But if you don't do that, you're out of the race completely. You can say, okay, I'm just gonna do my normal starts, and okay, there will be quite some C riders to form a group with, but then you have to forget that the others are there to try to achieve something, because you know you're fighting for position 50 and there's like 49 people in front of you. I don't really like that feeling. Yeah, I like to hang on as well, but I'm not always able to. I did, there's one race which only is Tempest Fugit, right? So it starts in the desert and it goes all the way going and back, keeps on the flats, and that was a same start. And then that was the only race that I was able to stick with the A and the B riders until like 2 kilometers before the finish, where they went berserk and went to like 500-600 watts to clean out people like me. But I was really proud of myself. I could, on the flat, stick with those guys, because if you look at the results, they were doing like 4.5 to 5 watts a kilo, but they were really pulling, and I was just sitting in the back with my weight advantage on the flat. I can do like 3.2 watts a kilo, sit in the group and let everybody do the work. Yeah, I really like that. So if I get bumped to the B class one of these days or weeks, I will primarily focus on those flatter races and like the crit races, because I think those are the ones where I can hang on longer with my weight advantage. and have a little bit of more competition and then train there. Because even if I do a climbing race in C class at this point, it's hard, man. There's so much people that are lightweight, and then even if you're doing like 300, 350 watts, they fly by you like they're a toothpick. That's not really motivating, although in the end of the day we only have to watch ourselves, right? But it does feel good to be like rewarded with a little bit something now and then. Like you get the feeling you are improving. Like if I get bumped to B, it will be a good feeling because I know the game is only about statistics, and if it bumps me up, it only means I'm getting better and stronger. Even though I will underachieve in the next group, I am getting stronger. Exactly. And once we get bumped, we have to work even harder, man. Because then we want really go to that B plus kind of ride and do the same you are doing now in the C class. Be part of the sprints, but in the B class. That's why I'll probably to go for the winter, right? I think mainly for me, this will mean I will have to go on a diet because the power is there. If I see the B and the A results with the 300 watts average I did yesterday, I can be a B plus rider if I lose like 8 to 9 kilograms. So I think if we get bumped, that's the next thing we have to do. Go on diet and go on a diet where we remain with the same power but lose weight. Yeah. But man, I like beer too much. It's hard. I like beer and fries, man. What can I do? I'm racing or I'm riding almost every day and I'm still remaining on the same weight. If I quit that, like in December we did that because with all the parties and dinners, we didn't feel like going on the bike. For 1 month, we gained 10 kilograms in 1 month. 10. And we lost a lot of weight. Power. So I lose power, I gain weight. Man, I was struggling. Then the first ride we had to do in half of January was a race up the Alpe du Zwift. The first ride after that month. Yeah, it's true. Slow but controlled is the best, right? I still remember half of January going on the bike and be like, okay, let's do this again. Race up to Zwift because it was for points, right? We were close to qualifying for the finals, so I wanted a decent position. We started the climb, everything was going good in the first group. Then we get to the foot of the Alp and I cramped up. My calves were totally cramped up. I think at like turn 16 or 15 I had to literally get off my bike stretch for 1 minute to get the cramps out, then get back on the bike. And I remember I couldn't go over 200 watts because every time I went higher than 200 watts, I was completely cramping up again. But we managed to keep climbing, you know. Went to the lowest gear I had, and I finished it. Then I couldn't walk for 2 days, and then I decided to go on a extreme diet, pretty extreme, because I had to lose weight for the finals. Because on the finals there was a weigh-in. I was riding at 89 kilograms or something. Didn't change it after my winter break. But after that Alp, I did change it to 96, and my achievements dropped completely. I had no power. So I lost about 2 kilograms every week after that. And I got back to 90 kilograms on the finals, on the weigh-in, which was cool, right? We're at 87 now. My lowest was before December was 85. But it would be awesome if I could get that to 80. Would be happy with that. No, but I had to ride it because I knew there was a weigh-in coming, and I couldn't sit there with my 96k being, yeah, I'm a finalist. I will do those 3 races, and then I have to add like 10 kilograms to my account. Then my average would go from I think it was like 3.1 by then, to like the D category, 2.6 or something. So I really had to work about it. I gained 10 kilograms in 1 month, so in my mind I had to lose it in 1 month as well. I nearly did it though. I was back at 90, so was a few kilograms off. I hit it, the 87 a couple of days before that, but yeah, I was bulking a lot of spaghetti for the finals because it was a whole day. Then you had to race for like 40 minutes, 40 to 50 minutes each race, and then 3 races a day with the warm-up included. So I really wanted to be prepared. Exactly. Pasta every day, man. For the last couple of days, I was on the toilet and the pasta came out. That's not true. I did really enjoy to be part of the finals though. Get to meet some of the team members in real life. And it's always nice to compete on the same materials. Like there was 5 Pax Neo 2s, there were 5 Wahoo kickers, and there were 5 Elite Directos, so 15 trainers in total. And each race you were on a different trainer. I started on the Wahoo for the Great City race, which was the best one in my opinion. Then I went on the Tex Neo for the time trial. I had a few dropouts there with that one, so it wasn't that fun. And then the last one was the Elite Directo for the Bologna trial. And for some reason, the Elite Directo was really hard on the resistance. So it was okay until we hit the climb, but then the incline went to 14% and I had to like push so hard to get my pedals going around. And you're in the middle of the race, so it's not like I'm gonna change my settings or something. I'm running around 50% of resistance, and that's the same, right? But for some reason, the Directo, he was going crazy. So I had to do the entire Bologna climb standing up because I couldn't get the pedals around while sitting. It did get me a new personal best back then. So that was nice. There were a lot of people cheering me on. So I wasn't mentally able to give up. I was just doing like this the entire time. I'm like, no, why are you doing this, trainer? And then you want to sit down and then stop moving. Get back up. Yeah, but we got on top, but the race was 16k, so we had to go back down then. And I regrouped with a few guys and I won the sprint. I was happy with my achievement there. It was the best race out of the three, even though it was the last one. So true, man, so true. And then the C class was always first, right? And then 2 races after, there was the A class. And then you had Lionel Vujas in there. And he was doing double the wattage that you were doing. And he was just sitting there, chilling. It's crazy to see him, right, man? Knowing that what pain you went through to get up. Yeah, he was doing the A class ride, so luckily for me, I didn't have to race him. Like the time trial that I explained, I failed at 230 to 40 watts. He did the entire ride with 400 watts average. He was like 1 minute and a half in front of the rest. It was crazy to see. At that point, you know there's a long way to go if you want to get better. If ever come close to something like that. And I think if I saw the B class riders, you can see the difference between C and B, mostly by weight, not by power. Like most of the C class riders I was competing with were like 85 kilograms and higher. But if you compare our average wattage to the B riders, it's more or less the same, high 200s, but minus like 10-15 kilograms at least. And then the A riders, yeah, those guys are athletes, right? They have low weight and really high power, and they can sustain that for a pretty long time. Yeah, it's one of the advantages of being bigger. You can push higher wattages, but you have to push the weight, and if it goes up, it's gonna be a big disadvantage. If it's flat, it's okay. That's the reason I think if I ever in one of the couple of weeks get boosted, because if we did achievements like yesterday like 1 or 2 times again, I will get boosted to be. I really have to work on the weight if I want to be, if I want to stay there. Otherwise, they will drop me back 1 month after that. Okay, more, let's ramp it up just a little. So things like this, like 300 watts, that's something we have to look more to in those flat races, right? Like be over those 300 watts and hopefully stay strong. Tomorrow we'll be trying our luck again in another race. Not sure what time. We'll be there around midday or in the evening. You should do it, guys. Go team trial. This looks so flat, but it's actually 7%. Is that allowed, Matthias? One of the lucky ones who got to the hairdresser just before the lockdown. I think the next one will be Coupe de Corona. I'm not. So it should be 2 more K to get the badge. We went a little bit slower than expected, although 500 altitude meters is not nothing, right? And I guess it's all the way downhill to the banner from here. This is a really nice part. If you do a race and the finish is this feels really awesome. Because for me, at this point I can just sit in a group, do almost nothing of the work, just relax those legs for that last sprint. Because if you make that left turn, the comp banner is not that far, so that's where you want to keep that momentum going and sprint your ass off. I'm guessing it's like 400 meters. Not so many Portuguese in Belgium though. I know only a few. A lot of Italians in the Limburg part. So this is the part, if you are in a small group like 10, 15 people, at this point you want to start your ramp up towards the finish. I got it. So yeah. That's the advantage of doing a chill race. You can hit a higher wattage in the sprint. I think my best is 1300 if I focus on sprints only. But it's strange because in a race it's so hard to hit that 1000 mark. Most of the time you are a little bit or a lot fatigued, so it's hard to get that effort in. And most of the time I'm watching the competition, so you know sometimes it's necessary to go higher and sometimes it's not. But if you just want to do it all out, yeah, decent ride, guys. We have the badge locked up, we have unlocked a new level, and that's something we wouldn't do normally, right? We're always about racing, group rides, doing some sort of challenge. But yeah, we have this route which I would never think about doing normally, that we fit perfectly in our schedule. Single speed city bike, and then put your trainer on max resistance. You have to go beast mode, man. If you want to get better, you have to go beast mode. No resistance in your trainer then. True. Maybe you have to add from these elastic bands or something. We might do a sprint training session as well this week. Like one of these couple next days. It's been a while since I've done a workout. There are a few nice ones where you have to like a few minutes at 200 watts and then you have to go all out for like 30 seconds. Train a little bit on those short power things. For me it's more important to train on the longer ones, of course, and the intervals. For like the 5-minute interval, you want to push that a little bit higher. I have to change this. Why isn't it working? Is this right? Man, I feel like such a noob, but I'm sure it's this. Oh my god. Like, it's not like I want to do the hooks and it's not working in this. It should be this Alt gear and then this button, but it's not working. Wait, I have a solution. If you go like Google and then do this, yeah. So you see, I'm pressing the right button, right? Man. Okay, and then go back to Google and do this. There we go. Yeah. No man, it's nice because it's nice and shiny. You can clean it easy, and the dirt doesn't get in your buttons. The bad part of the mechanical keyboard is that it makes quite some noise. So if you want to be silent for somebody, like my daughter was sleeping in the next room, and you like it might be annoying. There are some new versions already which are more silent, but the more silent, the more expensive the keyboards get, and I'm not that into it. I just like the advantages of mechanical, and I like the fancy colors when it's dark and it's lighting up the room. So we got the badges. We have a lot to do, right? We have 54 out of 124. We have to do this, but I really don't feel like doing that. That's 160 kilometers. This one will come in time. I think we have like 6 or 7 at this point. I'm not checking out, but I checking out, but I have to work on Sunday. I'm home from Tuesday, but I really want to do it at some point. Hopefully in a group ride where you can like shave off 30 minutes just by being in a group. But yeah, it has to be a group that's a little bit at my level, because most groups that are doing this most groups that are doing this challenge in a group ride are much better than me. especially on long distances. So yeah, maybe I can go like for the first half or something, and then we'll see. This is weird. I don't have this, but I think I've done this a couple of times last couple of weeks. But I think you have to really select it before it counts. So we can do this soon and get over with it. All these ones are pretty easy until the Mega Pretzel. Forceman is pretty hard as well. So this is gonna be hard. The Mega Pretzel is gonna be hard. Out and back again. I've done this before, so that's pretty easy. The Uber Pretzel. That might be the challenge for next month if we get to it. Oh man. No, I'm not gonna think about it. I, I think if I manage to get close to the 50k near half of May, I might do it in the third week of May. I might do this one and then hit the concept bike by completing this as well. That should be awesome if that's a possibility. But that means we'll have to climb 450 altitude meters for the next 20 racing days to be able to do this. We'll see. I'm really not sure these ones. I know TikTok is a lot of in group rides as well, so I might do that one day. And as from the other worlds, I really don't know much. We did this just now, and there are a few shorter ones that are pretty easy to do, maybe like in a warm-up or something. If we have like an hour or 45 minutes for warm-up, we might do one of these, the shorter ones. There isn't any higher than 1.2, right? 1.3 is no medal, huh? I don't know if like V Everesting is a hidden one. But yeah, that's not gonna be for anytime soon. We might do it at some point, right? At some point you have to do it. No? But it's not gonna be. I really want to do the other ones first and then be like, oh man, I have everything except that via vesting one, okay, now I have to do it, you know? Yeah, okay, but you have to keep your game open if you do it like that, and yeah, it doesn't feel fair. Yeah, that feels a little bit like cheating, no? I don't know. Because yeah, you can do it like over 2 or 3 days and then hope your game doesn't crash. And even then it's pretty hard, right? My daughter is 2.5, so maybe I'll let her do it. Or you have like, you know this game, like this, there's a video, I don't know where I saw it, but this guy, he put the Z power to his salad mixing thing, and he joined the race, and he was like racing with mixing the salad bar. And the harder you spin the salad, the harder the game goes. So maybe we can VRS like that to like 400 watts with Z power with the salad bar. You'll be like here for 4 hours. Like, yeah, come on. Man, and I remember watching that video and be like, man, this is probably the guys that I see like rolling off of the group when you're like going berserk just to hang on, and then you see this one guy on Z power He's going like slowly away from the group and is like going the distance, and then after a few minutes, you see he has like a gap of 4 minutes build up. I always remember the salad bar. I'm like, he's probably being like, come on the salad bar thing. So, yeah, I'm running away. I'm running away. I'm so sure of it. that's only that's the only way I can like give sense to the Z Power guys who ride away. You better laugh with it, otherwise you get frustrated, man. And I'd rather laugh than be frustrated. Oh man, good choice. Good choice. I have pasta for work. I have to recuperate from this very intensive ride, man. I have to recuperate with pasta to be ready for race day tomorrow. I'm not sure what race we'll be doing, but I will be prepared with pasta. Guys, I'm gonna hit the shower. I have to work in 45 minutes. Thank you so much for being here. Tomorrow we will have a race for sure. I'm not sure if it will be in the around noon or in the evening, depending on my daughter's ability to sleep. We'll see. Thank you guys for being here, and I see you guys on the next one. Bye.